Okay, welcome. I'm Alfred Lamont Weber, and I have the great privilege today to be with Tony Joseph Hamlin, who is representing the line. Okay, welcome. And the line Canada.com, and the line is a Canada-wide movement unifying groups. And Tony Joseph Hamlin is here today to explain their program, which will be culminating on a Canada-wide event on August 29th, 2020, Occupy Ottawa, from 2 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Parliament Hill in Ottawa. So Tony, over to you.
Thank you for the introduction, Mr. Weber. First, maybe just to give a quick explanation of what we've been doing so far, just for your viewers and others that haven't been really following what's been going on. Since the lockdown started, I believe since April 17th, we've been hosting protests Canada-wide. So we've unified all the groups Canada that have been heavily involved, and there's quite a few groups. So we've managed to all coordinate together and start coordinating mass protests Canada-wide, from BC to PEI. And but you wouldn't hear about any of this obviously on mainstream media. So we're dependent on all of the the supporters and the people that are protesting, as well as gentlemen like yourselves, to share our message so people are aware with what's going on. So the movement has been building quite exponentially, and now we're planning a massive protest against the lockdown and all these tyrannical orders that have been put in place. Um, our main protest now that it has finally led to is in Ottawa, and it will be held on the 29th of August. The main event will take place from 2 o'clock, from 2 p.m. till 5. But people will show up early. We'll be showing up probably around 12 o'clock. There'll be a live band and a concert style event. So we're there to obviously protest against the lockdown, and all these tyrannical orders that have come up. Specifically, also with what's just happened recently with the whole prorogation of Parliament. So we need to bring all these issues to light. Um, we started with initially 200 people protesting in each province, and that's built up week by week. We've been doing these protests like clockwork every Saturday, um, until the 15th of August, when we finally made our way down to Montreal, and we met with the men and women down in Montreal, and there was at least 30 to 40,000 people protesting when we had a protest down in Montreal. Um, Prior to that, Montreal had about 80,000 people in attendance at one of their rallies, and they will definitely be showing up to Ottawa as well. So we are anticipating probably 100. Hopefully, we're hoping for maybe 200,000 people to attend Ottawa Parliament Hill on the 29th of August, and bring attention to what's going on in Canada.
Very good. And will you be contacting members of Parliament? I know that there's been a movement to prorogue them, but surely there's at the grassroots level, everyone who is there could contact their particular member of Parliament, because they're all each member of the line has one with their lists of demands. Do you demand that? Or will you be doing that?
Yes, well, actually, what the line does is it represents all the independent groups that are operating out there. So there's like I said, a lot of groups that are protesting, and the line is just a movement to help unify or support them. And there has been a lot of the members of Parliament that have been contacted. I'm not going to really mention names, but there are a few that will be attending the protest. So it will definitely be an event that's really, really important. There's a lot of members of parliament that do support what we are doing, and they will be in attendance.
Right. So does the line have any recommendations for people who will be in their local communities for what people can do on August 29th, who say they can't get to Ottawa for various reasons, but they want to show solidarity? What can they do in their communities on August 29th? Can they go to your website for some kind of guidance, or what can they do?
So we obviously know, Canada is quite a large country, so traveling for many is not a possibility, and we don't want to leave anybody behind. So we are also hosting protests in every province on that date as well. That way, the entire country is protesting together. Obviously, we hope everybody can do their best to try to get to Ottawa, as we want to make sure that we have quite a large turnout. But if people do want to get involved, they just need to go to thelinecanada.com. And there's a join tab in the menu section. Once you go to that join tab, you'll get a list of provinces which are linked to different social media accounts, and it'll show you a list of all the protests that are taking place in each province. So you can definitely get involved with one of the groups in that specific location, and you can definitely go and support the cause.
Very good. Now, in terms of follow-up after August 29th, have you, because they're going to prorogue Parliament until I think September or October was mentioned. Are you thinking of follow-up actions, or what is in your thinking there?
Right. I mean, prorogue government. That's kind of a strange term, to put a pause on a government that's already been stopped a while ago. But
Yeah.
um, this is our goal. And like I said, we represent a large number of groups. One of the groups that we work very closely with, every group has their own mission. One of the groups that we work with is about delivering a solution on how to, maybe create new charter rights or other, legal issues for this movement. Another group is in regards to educating the public, about mask issues, vaccines, etc. There's another group that is currently in Ottawa, led by the Canadian Revolution, and they have been camped out already on the War Memorial. They have been there for the past 2 months. So they've pretty much preemptively been getting ready for us to start making our way down to Ottawa to join them. Our plan is we have to operate with this a little bit logistically and properly, and to build up our numbers to get to where we need to get. Like I said, we started with 200 people. We're hoping to have 100,000 people, maybe a little bit more on the hill. And we do plan to camp out. So everybody has been notified to bring their tents, trailers, or whatever they need. And we are going to be staying there until we get what we finally need out of this. We are not leaving anytime soon. And we do plan to have a larger, even bigger protest. We do need to reach the 500,000 to 1 million man protest by September 23rd, and we will. We will.
Right. That's quite a mess there. Now, you mentioned legal, and I'd just like to ask you, because there's a project that has started, and it's called A Simple Plan for Citizen Justice. And what it is, there are various groups, one split between the United States and parts of England. Also in England, they're starting moving, and there quite a bit of interest here in Canada, especially in kind of the plains states, where they're beginning to bring in 5G, kind of in a surreptitious nature. And 5G, of course, has been tied to the pandemic in the sense that the frequency radiation from 5G gives a lot of the symptoms, the same medical symptoms that the coronavirus gives. And that project is this: it's something that has not been brought yet, using the International Criminal Code, the International Criminal Statute, which prohibits genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes. And the mandatory vaccinations and these COVID-19 vaccinations would constitute genocide according to the statute and crimes against humanity. This rolling out of 5G in a way that causes these symptoms, and the other uh, uh, mandatory social control in terms of lockdowns that destroy people's livelihoods, that destroy families. The suicide rate has skyrocketed, the depression and anxiety rate, the breakup of families, with no medical justification whatsoever. That constitutes genocide and crimes against humanity under the International Criminal Code. Now, there are many groups that are starting, including one that is being led by a former U.S. general and a gentleman who is called King John III of England, in which he demonstrates that he actually can take over from Queen Elizabeth, who he claims that line is a fraud. And there are other groups, and I was wondering whether we could send, and we've been apprised of all the documentation, whether we could send the line, the links and the documentation of this, so that in the post August 29th, this would be an option that you can make known to people, that they can bring actions to stop the social control methods, the mandatory, the COVID vaccinations, the rollout of 5G, the mandatory lockdowns, the quarantines, because these constitute genocide and they constitute crimes against humanity under the International Criminal Code. And Canada is a signatory and has ratified the International Criminal Code statute, which means that these lawsuits can be brought in the national courts of Canada. So would you be open to our sending those documents to you so you could examine them and perhaps adopt and send them out to your membership?
Yeah, of course. Of course, a lot of followers and people that are involved in these movements are very well aware, very intelligent and educated people, and we're all very well versed in the topics that you're speaking about. Very aggressively involved in it as well. However, you do have a little bit possibly more information about that organization that I wasn't really aware about, but we would definitely welcome those documents for us to look into and start proactively working with that angle as well.
Oh, great, great.
This is a front that we have to kind of approach from all different angles and in different ways, and it's something that we have to look into as well.
Now, how can people who are listening to this and for the first time they're hearing about the lioncanada.com and its programs, how can they get more involved, get in touch with you, send you support, ask for more information, really become involved? Maybe they hadn't heard of you, because in different localities, people are trying to reach out, and they get in touch with their friends, but there's no real,
Right.
This is just getting started now.
I mean, think of it this way. I mean, there's many groups or organizations that have been out there for years and years. We started within a 4 months period. And, we saw the need for it, and within 4 months, we were able to establish and unify the country. So, organizational, we're doing our best, and we have to rely on social media because mainstream media is somewhat censored, sort of propaganda campaign, because you haven't heard a single thing about what we've been doing for the past 4 months. So we're depending on not only social media, word of mouth, but as well on the activism on all the followers to get the word out and to actively, work with us. So what we've designed as a possible platform is initially is the website. We're hoping that people do have Facebook at least at a minimum, because these once you go onto the join tab on our website, you can select each province that you're from. And if you join, there's a specific Facebook group for every province. And once you join that specific province, you're in contact with all the people that are protesting there, as well as the administrator for that Facebook page, as well as the lead organizer. Somebody can just contact and reach them right away if they want to get involved, attend the protest, meet the people, and see how they can get involved that way in the physical sense. Alternatively, this is quite an expensive venture as well. When we do these protests, we do need to supply water for people. The Ottawa protest as well, for example, the requirement in regards to the audio equipment, the staging, the speakers, uh, water for everybody, food, transportation. Sometimes it's quite an expense. So there's a lot of people that do donate to help us out, and we do have that information on the website as well. Um, we do try to, we do have merchandise to support the movement, T-shirts or flags, so that when people are doing the protests, all that kind of, marries into itself, so that we can keep building and growing the movement. And we're completely dependent on each other. We are all a grassroots movement from all the groups Canada-wide. Uh, Everybody is kind of helping whichever way they can, so that we can all basically get through this together. And this is an entire team initiative from all the groups Canada-wide.
Very good. Very good. Well, we've this is now kind of at the public service announcement level. We're at about the 15 minutes, which is kind of an optimal time. Do you have any words that you'd like to leave our listeners with?
A lot of people will sit and watch. Sitting and watching right now is not the time for it. You have your rights here in Canada, and you have to fight for them. And if you just let them slip through your fingers, you are not going to get them back. Giving away any inch of freedom under the umbrella of safety is not the way to go. So we ask everybody that this is the time to do it. If you need to stand up for your country and for your rights, you need to actively stand up. Join one of the groups. Come to Ottawa. This is where we are going to finally draw the line against what's going on, and it's time that we effect some change in this country for the people.
Thank you. Tony Joseph Hamlin of The Line Canada, thank you very much. You've articulated very well this important series of events that will be happening Canada-wide and culminating on August 29th with a rally nationwide and as well in Ottawa from 2 to 5 p.m. Bring a tent. And things are just getting started here. You can go to thelinecanada.com. We'll have all the contact information and descriptions in the video site, in the video description to this video, and in the article that accompanies here. Thank you so much for watching this and for becoming active and for joining in to stop this, at least from our point of view, as a war crimes judge, this COVID-19 genocide and crimes against humanity, and join in and support The Line and its actions. This is Alfred Lambermont Weber from Vancouver, BC, and TrueTube at News Inside Out. Thank you.